check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation.
December 22nd, 2024. It's week 16 of the NFL season, and we find ourselves down in Dallas for this critical NFC battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When I say that this is a critical game, I'm specifically talking about the main team in our story, as in the Buccaneers. The Cowboys have nothing to play for outside of pride. They've been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention as their all-in season has gone up in smoke. But for the Bucs, they're not only alive in the playoff hunt, but they control their own destiny. Win this game, and you keep your hold on first place in the NFC South with 2 games to play. Lose this game, and you drop to second. Safe to say, there is a lot on the line. So now is most definitely not the time to screw up from a coaching standpoint. Which, yeah, we'll get to that. Because so far, this game has not gone according to plan whatsoever for the Bucs. They still find themselves trailing 20-7, and it made Cooper Rush look like Joe Montana out there. Even though things have not gone great, though, they've got a chance to get some points back right here during this 2-minute drill. Get something here, and then get something coming out of the halftime break, since you do get the ball to start the half, and we've got a bowl game again. And sure enough, in less than a minute, the Bucs went from inside their own 30-yard line to the 15-yard line of Dallas, finding themselves in the red zone. It's 3rd and 4, and the Bucs call a run to Rachaad White to pick up 4 yards and get the first down at the 11-yard line. Perfect. You've got a timeout left, you've got 3 plays to the end zone, and you've got a minute. Plenty of time. Just let the clock wind down to ensure the fact that Dallas can't touch the ball again, and you'll be good.
Line and timeout taken. That's the last one.
You're kidding me, right? This is some kind of sick joke, right? You burned your final timeout that early with that much time left? Now you just ensure the fact that Dallas, with an offense that's been moving the ball all day and a kicker who can hit from 65 in this stadium, is going to get the ball back with plenty of time to keep it in a 2-score game and negate everything that you just did. Do you not have any understanding of how the clock works? Do you not have any understanding of the flow of the game? Todd Bowles, why did you call a timeout? This is going to backfire badly, isn't it?
The half with a 58-yard make. And Aubrey ends the half with a 58-yard make.
Yep, thought so. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something look awful almost immediately. These are moves where gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles. Say what you want about Todd Bowles from an X's and O's standpoint, but this much is clear. This man might legitimately be the worst head coach in the NFL right now from a timeout management standpoint. It is almost comical how bad Bowles is when it comes to calling timeouts and giving teams way too much time to answer for no reason whatsoever. Remember last year against the Houston Texans when there was a finite end to the drive? The Bucs got called for a penalty, and they had the option to either take the 10-second runoff or call a timeout. And the Bucs called a timeout, which gave the Texans plenty of time to drive down the field themselves and win the game. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. Bowles has not learned one bit. He cannot manage the clock whatsoever, and this embarrassment on Sunday night is another prime example of that. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling a timeout with 54 seconds left and the ball at the 11-yard line is a really bad idea. You know it's a bad timeout when initially I thought the Dallas Cowboys were the ones to call timeout, because that would make more sense, seeing as they want enough time to get the ball back. The fact that it was the Bucs who called timeout and helped the Cowboys out in the process is insane. At the end of the day, you have 2 goals on this drive. Number 1, score a touchdown. Get some points on the board to cut it to a 1-score game so that you have a chance to double dip coming out of the halftime break. seeing as you get the ball to start the second half. Number 2, however, is score so that you don't give the Cowboys, who've been playing well offensively in the second half, since Cooper Rush has thrown for over 200 yards thus far already, enough time to score themselves. In theory, you would think that these goals go against each other. However, when you've got the ball at what is, in essence, the 10.5-yard line, there is a finite ending to the drive, so it is very doable. In terms of that, you have first down, second down, and third down, and there is no way to acquire another first down. Technically, there is if you get the first down at the quarter-yard line, but for all intents and purposes, that's not possible. It's 3 plays to score a touchdown and get into the end zone, and then it's fourth down. So when you look at it like that, how much time do you need to call 3 plays? How much time do you actually need to call 3 plays? Especially seeing as you're going to be throwing the ball into the end zone. So any pass will stop the clock because it either will result in a touchdown or will hit the ground and be incomplete. I'll tell you this much, you don't need 54 seconds. You absolutely do not need 54 seconds to do this. Earlier in the drive, you took 13 seconds to call 3 plays. You got a crap ton of yards on the drive too. You don't need 54 seconds to call 3 plays. It'd be one thing if you have to balance calling the timeout and wanting to get the maximum number of plays possible to work with. But you didn't have to do that here. There was nothing to balance. If you got to the line of scrimmage and you called your first down play with 30 seconds left and you kept your timeout, then you still would have had more than enough time to get all 3 plays in. And you would have a timeout in your back pocket in case something happened over the middle of the field. It does not take 54 seconds to call 3 plays, nor does it even take 30 seconds to call 3 plays, especially when you've got a timeout. So you get the same amount of plays in, and you get some breathing room to work with, and you have 24 less seconds. What does that mean? Well, it means that the Cowboys don't have time to do anything when they get the ball back, because they will get the ball back. If you score on first down, and you call the play with 30, you're giving the Cowboys 24 seconds to drive down the field and score, meaning that, assuming they need to get to the 45-yard line, they have about 4 plays to go 25 yards. If you score on first down and you call the play with 54 seconds, however, you're giving the Cowboys 48 seconds, or double the time, to drive down the field and score, meaning that they have about 8 or 9 plays to do this. Remember, the time isn't an issue on offense for you at all. But by calling timeout that early, you give the Cowboys double the time and double the number of chances to score for no reason whatsoever. And just to illustrate this even more, if you score on second down and you do what any smart coach would have done in that spot, which is to call the play with 30 seconds, the Cowboys have 18 seconds to drive down the field and score. In the other scenario, they've got 42 seconds. Third down or fourth down, the Cowboys are just taking a knee in all likelihood because they won't have enough time to do anything. Mission accomplished. Third or fourth down when you call the timeout that quickly, the Cowboys have plenty of time and they're going to try and score. In other words, by scoring too quickly through your own doing because you foolishly called a timeout for no reason, the Cowboys will have a very good chance at getting points before the half, answering before the half, and making it a 2-score game again, negating everything that you just did. There was no risk, none whatsoever, to letting the clock run down, seeing as you would still get the same number of plays off. And yet, you did it. You freaking did it anyway, because you have no understanding of how clock management and timeout management works. This man right here, this guy been watching this whole time, and Todd Bowles, needs someone in his ear telling him when to call timeout and when to let the clock run. Because it seems like every time there's a big situation, he makes the wrong decision. And what's crazy is that despite this decision giving the Cowboys 3 points, despite the Cowboys winning this game by 2 points, meaning that this decision was pretty freaking important, and despite the fact that everyone saw this as a bad idea except for Bowles himself, no one, not one person, bothered to ask Todd Bowles about this decision. Not one person in the media bothered to say after the game, "Hey, Coach Bowles, why on earth did you take a timeout that quickly and give the ball back to Dallas for no reason whatsoever?" How does nobody ask that question? And this isn't me nitpicking or anything like that. Literally, the top comment on the YouTube video on the press conference for Bowles is questioning why no one asked the question about the timeout management. So we will never truly know the answer that it seems like a lot of people are dying to know. Everyone else could spot it, but not the media and not Todd Bowles. All we do know, however, is this much. The Atlanta Falcons, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, control their own destiny for the NFC South title at this point. And it's because of some terrible, nonsensical coaching on the part of Todd Bowles, as is tradition. So what did we learn from all of this? If you have a finite ending to the drive and you don't have to give the ball back to the other team, then don't give the ball back to the other team. If you have plenty of time to run your offense and have the exact same number of plays to run your offense, regardless of how much time is left, then maximize the clock so that your possession is, for all intents and purposes, the final possession. If you don't have to give the ball back, especially if your defense is playing like crap, then don't give the ball back. And if a stoppage happens on the field, and I genuinely thought it was the other team that stopped the clock, because it would make sense for them to do it, but no sense for you to do it, then you probably screwed up. You probably messed up badly. And I think it's safe to say that Todd Bowles, once again, screwed up, as is tradition. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision.
Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.